Is astrology a guide to aid us in mastering the universe? This is the Cosmic Community Podcast with Galactic Ambassador Stacey Dredd. I hope you're having a good day. This is Stacey Dredd, Galactic Ambassador in the Cosmic Community, where we dive into the week's planetary and lunar influences, chat about how we may be able to work within the cycles of the universe to create a more benevolent life for all. So thank you so much for making time and space in your day today to receive these messages. And we are in this wonderful week of balance, as of course we have the equinox, the Libra fall autumnal equinox on the plate as the big ticket, the big meal deal for the week. And this is a balancing point for the universe because, well, our universe is right here on Earth, and our vantage point shows us this halfway marker between the solstices when we have 12 hours of light and 12 hours of dark in the day. And it is a wonderful time of balance for nature. This is absolutely a time when the veils become thin and there is just a little extra magic going on out in nature to access. And so it's a really special time to get out and be with the nature spirits, to be out in nature and to be celebrating this halfway point between summer high point and winter another point. And this is a time when we can look back on the last 6 months. You know, where have we been? Have we been fulfilling some of those goals, some of those things that we started working on back in March, 6 months ago at the last equinox? And then, of course, looking at the next 6 months and saying, what is it that I need to apply myself towards in order to continue on manifesting what it is that I am wanting to manifest in this life? And that's a really powerful point. So the equinoxes are always very powerful points, and this is going to carry with it a very climactic feeling with it. There is like a climax point from what you started back in March, and here we get to see what we've culminated and how we're going to be moving forward, how we're going to be applying ourselves, and what type of story writing that we are going to be doing into the future. So a big week in the astrology. And so I have the chart for that. That is September 22nd at 11:50 p.m. So very, very late in the evening here on the Pacific West Coast. That's going to be different if you are tuning in from a different time zone. But that I have the chart for that pulled up, and we're going to take a look at that because it's always good to look at the chart and see what's there. It kind of signifies how this next 6 months is going to go. And you can kind of see on these PowerPoint days what is being activated and what energies we're working with. So we're going to do that for sure. But I want to just actually kind of frame things a little bit around how the energies are sort of framing this equinox. And so we are still in a pretty dramatic retrograde period right now. And retrograde is when the planets appear to move backwards in the line of constellations in the sky. They appear to move backwards. So a lot of those planets is like, oh, well, they're still just hanging out in the same spot. They're actually moving across a certain degree point in the chart. And so there's a lot that can be learned about learning where the planets are retrograding and seeing where these lessons are showing up for you personally if you are diving into your own birth chart. So I'll try and give some of those points too. So we have Pluto in retrograde in the latter degrees of Capricorn. That is at about 27, 28 degrees. And this retrograde is going to bring Pluto back to about 26 degrees. And then we're going to move forward out of Capricorn officially into Aquarius. But Pluto is definitely still working on some Capricorn themes there in the very last degrees. There is always a push to learn these lessons, to make these changes. Retrograde time. To just kind of break down the terms a little bit. The time of retrograde is a time to go back and to look at things again and to review and to make edits. And then after we've had the opportunity to do that, then the planet will start to move forward again and we work on newer themes. But during retrograde, when the planet's moving backwards, think about it like you're focusing on kind of things in the past. You're kind of going back and making changes and rewriting things and reflecting, a big time of reflection on the past. And so Pluto is doing this very last reflection in Capricorn. Capricorn is all about responsibility and ambition and taking care of things and building the bony structures also. Capricorn is focused on the structural themes, and Pluto is the planet of transformation and regeneration. And so we are transforming, regenerating themes in Capricorn around our responsibilities, around things that we are going towards in our lives, like potentially our career or like some hobby that we love that we're trying to make into more than just a hobby, things like that ambitious feeling. And so Pluto doing a lot of work in Capricorn right now. Saturn. The planet of Saturn is like the father figure in the sky. Saturn is just about to be finishing his retrograde in Pisces and going to be stationing at about 0 degrees. So 7 to 0 degrees of Pisces is where Saturn is making that retrograde right now. The sign of Pisces is all about conclusions and finishing things, and very much about sort of mystical things that are magical, anything kind of ethereal and the collective unconscious. And Pisces is a very emotional sign also. And so Saturn is the father figure. Saturn is more of the rule maker and the responsible one. And this is where we are creating the rules and boundaries in our life. That's what Saturn has a lot to do with. And also like the Capricorn energy, because Saturn is the planet that rules Capricorn, a more serious, ambitious energy. And so as we have this retrograde with this ambitious, sort of more colder planet of Saturn, less emotional, working with Pisces themes, closing things out and making having conclusive moments here in Pisces, maybe even using the logic and that part of the mind a little more than the emotions. So whether that's a good thing or not for you, that's where you go to your birth chart and go, okay, well, where is this working in my life? And with Neptune in Pisces also making a retrograde. This one is at 26 degrees of Pisces, the later degrees. So we have Saturn in the very first part of Pisces. We have Neptune in the later part of Pisces. And so lots of Pisces energy in retrograde, going back and taking a look at Neptunian themes, which Neptune is actually the planetary ruler of Pisces and represents everything ethereal and everything that is watery and big oceans of emotion. Neptune represents unconditional love, and this is also addictive behavior tied in with Neptune. And so we are definitely feeling a powerful Neptune retrograde as Neptune's in his home sign of Pisces. Giving a little bit of information about each planet's retrograde right now, because this is really a strong theme in the chart for the equinox this week. And so when you talk about these power points of the year, solstice, winter solstice, the equinox in the spring, summer solstice, the equinox in the fall, and then there's actually little power points in between those that the ancient people would have, and people still do, celebrate as, a marking a point of the year. And each of these points, is celebrated for the different things that these seasons represent. And so these are power points in the year. This equinox that we are creeping up on this week, September 22nd, here on the West Coast. This one has a lot of planets retrograde. And so this one is a little more focused on how we can go back and make changes to things and make things kind of move forward more efficiently. Make sure that the energies that we're putting out to these different parts of our life are doing what we want them to be doing. It's efficiently working. That's a very Virgo thing as we're finishing up Virgo season and really working on putting our energies where they need to be. And so more retrograde planets, 2 more in the sign of Taurus. Taurus is a very much an earth sign. This is represented by the bull, the cow, and this is a very stable earth energy, and Taurus energy is very much about creating material stability and being a provider and providing for people. Taurus is a Venus ruled sign. And so Taurus loves all the things Venus, which is like sensual. They love good tasting food, good pleasant sounding music, textiles, fabrics that are soft, those sensory things. They love all of those beautiful sensory things. And then also, within the realms of being a provider, Taurus just always wants to be a center point, that people can come to for that stability and for a nice cup of tea. And so Taurus has right now Jupiter retrograde at 15 degrees. This is the planet of Jupiter, the biggest energy of all the planets. And Jupiter carries a lot of energy. Jupiter is like usually a big energy, but of course, retrograde, we're getting big about other things. We're getting big about going back and looking and seeing how we can provide maybe, Taurus in a bigger way, for people, or how we can use different opportunities, which is a very Jupiter theme, use opportunities, to create financial security, a very Taurus thing. And so using these big energies of Jupiter to rework Venus themes and themes around Taurus. And then also in Taurus, we have Uranus at 23 degrees at this equinox, retrograde. Uranus is the planet of awakenings and the planet of revelation, revolution, and all things change. There is a lightning bolt quality to Uranus. And so Uranus has been in Taurus for a lot of years and has a couple more years left. Uranus has been shaking up the ground that Taurus stands on. It's not been a very comfortable thing for Taurus, but it is definitely their time to house this planet of Uranus and to feel maybe some of this more forceful, earth-shattering changes, awakenings, revolutions, revelations in the world of Taurus. So that is basically, other than Chiron, which I didn't mention, but quickly, Chiron is retrograde in Aries, and Chiron moves very slowly. This is a lot of years still scouring Aries, and Chiron is the wounded healer. And wherever Chiron goes, we kind of get a glimpse of some of our wounds and some of the wounds maybe that have been healed in our life that now have become our superhero power. And so wherever Chiron is, in this case, 18 degrees of Aries, we are working with Aries themes, which are making new things happen. Aries loves brand new things. So we are starting new cycles around our health, around the way that we take care of our wounds and the way that we heal our wounds, and then offer that to others in order to help others, work their way through wounds that maybe we have now experienced and feel like, we're kind of experienced with. So that's Chiron in Aries. And so moving into this equinox, that is signified in astrology when the sun hits 0 degrees of Libra. So really, the fall equinox in the northern hemisphere starts the fall season and the season of Libra. Libra is the sign of balance and harmony. This is a more feminine sign, as Libra is represented by Venus, and also the sort of mascot for Libra is the scales of justice. So it's the energy of harmony and balance and bringing things into a more harmonious state. Well, that's perfect for the fall equinox, of course. It's the halfway point there. So you can kind of see how these things all do really work together. And the sun in Libra is time when the sun is moving through a sign. We sort of have that as our main sort of focus for the season, for the next month, the next 4 weeks that we're working with. And so we're going to be working on balance and harmony and bringing things to justice and bringing equality, into our life or into different themes. Of course, you would want to look into your birth chart and see where the sign of Libra, which house that falls in for you. And so that's those are the themes that you work with during Libra season. And right now, also in the sign of Libra, we have Mars, the warrior planet, the go-getter. This is the forward moving energy. This is a very masculine, I'm going to go get what I want, Mars energy, the warrior god. So Mars is in Libra, furthering this desire, this push, this sort of forceful push even to bring balance and harmony and equality, which is, what Libra is representing. And so these are the themes that we're working on here as these planets move through this sign. Also, in the sign of Libra, we have the South Node, and the North Node is directly across in Aries, and we are working with the Aries Libra axis right now because the North and the South node are there. Aries, again, all about new beginnings. We want to start new things, especially when the North node is moving through Aries. The North node is about new things and bringing things into our lives. And so that is a big theme right now. And Libra is and the South node, is all about letting things go. And so there is an aspect of release and allowing things to flow out of our life during this Libra season because the South node is in Libra. So anything that, again, this equinox is like, hey, what are we spending our energy on? Is that what we want to spend our energy on? And we're the people who's going to make changes for this. So Mars, they're ready to take forward movement and to make these changes and to take that step. The Sun, another very powerful energy that moves into and works with this Mars and this South node. So very interesting things happening, and that is basically, I guess, my read on the autumnal equinox for 2023. And yeah, I just feel like, of course, it's a point to stand kind of still. If you have a moment to even go out right before the sun goes down on the 22nd. And if it's still warm enough, take your shoes off and plant those feet on the ground and watch that sunset, because we really want to soak up the sun. We really want to be in tune with that and get as much of that goodness as we can before it starts getting a little darker around here. So, do enjoy all of that. If you need to get a hold of me, you can do so at the Cosmic Community at kpov.org. If you need any resources to find a birth chart for you or any questions about that, the Cosmic Community at kpov.org. And definitely find me on YouTube. That's Galactic Ambassador Astrology. So you can get those videos in that on that platform. And you can access the archive to this program at kpov.org on the Cosmic Community show page, and hear a rebroadcast on Saturdays after One-on-One with Raider Mystic. So thank you so much for being tuned in today, and I hope you have an amazing autumnal equinox, and we will be talking to you next week. Peace. Thank you for listening to the Cosmic Community Podcast. More can be found at kpov.org/thecosmiccommunity.